Hello everybody, welcome. This is Dina and today is February 16th and I've done a little bit of stitching today. I wanted to share with you what I've been up to. Today I wanted to stitch my stitches that were required by my Great British Bake Off championship game, and that was for a handshake that Dan received in the third episode. And that's worth 150 stitches. And Dan is affiliated with my Let Love Rain whip. So whenever Dan does anything, the stitches result in my Let Love Rain. So today I pulled that out and I was able to stitch 192 stitches in it before I ran out of floss on that color. And before I started a new strand, I just decided that was more than enough for my 150. And I wanted to move on and get the rest of my British baking stitching done as soon as possible, so I decided I would put it away. So here's where I got to. When you last saw it, I had done this flower in the middle and I had started going over here. I think I had one stitch on the straightaway here. So today I picked up there and did the green all the way across to the other side of the house. I did the heart and I started on the grass, and this is the strand that I used up and said, okay, 192 stitches is enough. So that's what I got done today. Working my way on across now. This house and flower over here will be repeated over here, and that'll finish that band. Then I'll come over here and do the border, and I'll be ready to roll it up for the next band. I am going to stitch the next two bands just as they are, and then I will skip one and go to the bottom. So what I've decided is I'm going to do these two bands just as they are. I'll skip this one and then I'll go to the bottom and finish it off there. Sorry if there's a hard break there. My husband is at Home Depot picking up our backsplash tile for our kitchen today, and he had a question. He had to call and ask, so I had to stop. But anyway, that's what my plans are with the Let Love Rain, how I want to adjust it. And I'm hoping that my Great British Baking Championship stitching will help me push this a little bit further along. I would love to finish that band this year. I'd really like to finish the next one too, but that's kind of aggressive, but we'll see. Things are moving along really well in my monthly requirement stitching. So I'd already had a thought that once I finished one of my pieces that I'm stitching monthly requirements on, that I could substitute in my Let Love Rain and start putting 500 stitches in it once a month. Just depending on how things go. I hope you're having a great evening. I look forward to having a nice, peaceful, quiet evening myself, and I'll come back and talk with you when I have some more to share. Happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is Dina. It is the 17th of February. I had to look. And I wanted to share with you a little bit of stitching that's been going on here at my house. Last night, I was catching up watching a show with my hubby, and I was stitching with him there in the living room. And so I was working on my British Bake Off Championship stitching. And unfortunately, the person who is affiliated with this Summer by the Sea was the one voted off. And so I had to put a final 75 stitches in this piece for the game, and then I won't be using it anymore for my British Bake Off Championship. So it'll be hard for you to tell what I've done differently because it will blend so well with what was there before. But I had done this initial border here, and then I came in and did this blue here. And then I had started with a second color of blue, and I had just gotten a little short piece of that done. So last night I finished that second color of blue all the way around to here. I didn't come over here. I would have if I needed to. But I had 122 stitches by then. And I was watching TV and all engrossed in that with my husband. So I said, that's enough. I put it away. So I got that one done yesterday, which leaves me one more British baking
to get. I'm going to mark this one off. I have a little spreadsheet I'm keeping over here to let me know what I need to stitch on when. So all that's left now is to stitch 100 stitches on Nativity. Nativity is affiliated with the baker named Terry, and Terry was the first in technical that week, and that's 100 stitches. So I'll be pulling that out here after lunch, and I'll be putting at least another 100 stitches in my Nativity for that. And that will complete this week's British Bake Off stitching until I watch the next show, which we don't do until we have to do it by Friday. We start stitching again on Friday. So I had made a little list of things I might want to work on during the rest of the month since I had finished my acrostics. And I had finished my monthly requirements early, so I thought, well, I'm just going to make a list of things I would like to work on, and then I'll just pick and choose what I want to do every day, and that gives me a little guidance. So one of the things on my list was to catch up my temperature tree because I had not stitched it in about a week, maybe, or a little longer. So anyway, I'll remind you, this is the mock-up of what Stitchin' Mommy's temperature tree looks like, and I am using this for this year for my city here in Gainesville. And this is what it looks like now. Isn't that pretty? I love all the variety of the colors as they are appearing. So I have a little calendar I put together this year. I didn't buy one this year. I made one. Well, I did buy one. I bought the 24 Hours Cross Stitch one. And then I used it and printed off the pages that I wanted. So this is my February calendar. And each day I'm writing the high temperature. And then when I get ready to stitch it, I go into my temperature gauge for the key for the colors. And I put those in parentheses right by the temperature. And then as I stitch it, I highlight it in yellow to let me know that's the leaf I just finished, so I know which one is the next color. And then on my pattern, I color in the leaf that I stitch, so I know which leaf is next on my pattern. So it's going really well. I do recommend, if you do this temperature tree, that you do what I did, and that is you stitch the tree ahead of time. Like, if you're going to do it next year, stitch the tree this year. Because it's so easy now to pick this up and just go through and stitch the leaves that are required and then put it away. It doesn't take that long. But today, doing all the leaves that I had not stitched yet gave me 116 stitches. And so I considered this my whip of choice for today, and I was able to count that for my bingo stitching. So I got my bingo block completed this morning, and I'm very, very happy about that. So now the rest of the things I have on my list include my 100 stitches in Nativity. It includes to go back and maybe finish my Christmas stocking that I started. The start of it is the monthly requirement. The finishing of it is optional for me, but I kind of like it. So I've got that on my list to pick it back up. And then I have a series of the pairs that I'm stitching on green fabric with a very, very highly variegated cottage garden thread. And I have one of those pairs left to do. And it's on the schedule for a couple of months from now. But it's calling my name because I'd like to finish that series. And so I put that on my list as a potential to look at. And then the last thing I have on my list is to pull Royal Games back out and put more stitches in her because, as you know, I need to finish it a lot sooner than I thought I was going to when I picked that piece. So I would like to put some extra stitches in that one and get her further along. So that's what I'd like to work on this month. Now, there's a little piece of news that's going to change some of it. I am going to the lake house with the Lake House Stitchers, and we are going to be going next weekend. Not this coming weekend, but the next one, the weekend of the 28th. And so I have been talking with the ladies, and some of us are going to be bringing the projects that we gifted each other when we made our ornaments and we we kitted them up for each other. I've only stitched one of those. Other than the two I stitched to begin with, I've only stitched one of those that I've been gifted, and they're really, really cute, and I want to do them. So someone came up with the idea that maybe we bring those that we hadn't stitched yet, and we work on that while we're together that weekend, and let that be our projects for the weekend. So since I've finished all my requirements, I could do that without any trouble. I could do that without pushing anything else out of the way. So I will be looking at those and deciding two things: which ones I want to try to do, and do I want to go ahead and get them started? Because starting something is the hardest part, doing all the calculating and figuring where you're going to start it. And I could go ahead and put the first few stitches in and have it ready so that when I get there over the weekend, I just pick which one I want to do. And I've already got it placed and started up. So I may do that as well. I have ordered a box for my stitching storage, new storage system that Annie's Keepers to go in. And it's supposed to be here tomorrow. So I have waited to do these until I have a box to put them in, because I could be putting them on these little tags, and putting the tags in here, but then where am I going to store them? Where am I going to hold them? So I'm going to wait and do that after I get my box tomorrow. So that may be something toward the end of this week that you see me working on, which further makes it important that I get the stitching done early in the week. So since my nativity is the next thing I really need to stitch on for a prompt, I'm going to pull it out next, and I'm going to work on it, because everything else is extra that I can or can't do. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to put this away, and I'm going to have lunch with my husband, and then I will come back and I'll get started on my 100 stitches in nativity. And hopefully I'll be back and share it with you. Happy stitching, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is later on, and but it is still the 17th of February, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about my day. I have continued to stitch. I'm so excited. I took Coco on a nice walk right before lunch. I had to wait a little while for it to warm up this morning, but then she and I took a nice little walk, and then I went to lunch with my husband. And then I came back and I stitched. And I pulled out my nativity to get my 100 stitches in it, because this is connected to the baker Terry. And Terry got first in technical on this third episode. And so I had to put 100 stitches in here. So I did that. And I took a picture and I posted it. And that completes my bake-off stitching for this episode, for the third episode. And so no baking stitching now until Friday. But I wanted to show you my nativity, because I didn't stop at 100 stitches. After I made my post, I continued stitching and went back to an old standard that I used to adhere to. I was trying to get 200 stitches in whenever I was stitching on something that didn't have a required number. Now this had a required number of 100, but when I kept going, I said, okay, I'm going to go all the way to 200, and I did. So you'll notice a little bit of difference. I have started working on that beautiful, probably it's part of the swaddling clothes, but it's across her lap, and it goes down to about right here. This is the end of it, and then the manger is over here in this section right here. There's some, looks like hay, here, and some over here on the other side of the manger. I haven't gotten to that yet, but I was trying to get this part done before I started on the manger. I'm also going to try to finish Joseph's cloak and everything down to the manger, so that when I get ready to do that manger, my thoughts are that I will probably put all these colors on my needles, and I will just start doing straight down until that color's over, park it, do the next color, and just work my way across here and try to get it done in 1 or 2 sessions, so that it's done. Because once I start counting it and mark it, it's going to be easier if I can just stitch it all at one time or pretty close together, so I remember what I was doing. And then all that's left is the little hay stuff. Oh, it's not over here. It's over here, here and here. And then, of course, I have to finish this border. And once I finish all the cross stitch in it, then I have to go back and do all of the metallic threads and the beads. But I think most of that is in here. So once I get started and go across here, I can come down, and I can go across. You know, can just work my way like this with it. So, believe it or not, I'm beginning to see light at the end of the tunnel. It's not quite there yet. There's still a whole lot more to do, but it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm excited about it. So now that means I have done all of my required stitching for the month. And I have a Zoom call tonight, and I want to go back and finish that stocking, that Christmas stocking, but it's on black fabric and I don't stitch on it at night. So I'm going to save that for tomorrow morning, and I'll try to work on that tomorrow morning some. But tonight I get to just pick whatever I want to do. So I'm actually thinking that tonight I may pick up that third green pair and go ahead and get it stitched, because I could stitch it today, and that would be another small that I have started, and it would be great for when I'm doing Zoom calls. And I have a couple of those this week. I have one tonight, I have one tomorrow, and I have one on Thursday. So I need something I can stitch with other people. So if I go ahead and start that one, I think that'll help a lot. So I'm planning on doing that. So I'm going to put this one away. Thanks for letting me share it with you again. I know you'll be seeing it often right now because it is part of the game, and it's also part of my monthly requirements, which is why I put it in the game so that I could stitch on it as much as possible. So that's exciting. I think that's all for now. If I get a chance to come back after our Zoom call tonight and show you what I accomplished, I will. But we usually stitch till about 10:30 or so, and I go right to bed after that. So I probably will wait and catch you up tomorrow on what I really do tonight. But my thoughts are it's going to be that green pair. I'll let you know. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to go eat dinner because it's about 6 o'clock, and our Zoom call's around 7:30. And my husband's gone out to buy some products to put up our backsplash in the kitchen. And so he's over at Home Depot doing some shopping. And he said when he gets home tonight, he's just going to have a turkey sandwich or some hummus and crackers or something, because we had a big lunch. He surprised me and took me to Cracker Barrel for lunch today. So I ate half of my lunch at Cracker Barrel today and brought it home, and I'm going to eat it for supper, the other half. So anyway, that will help get me ready in time for my Zoom call, which will be fun. Well, I hope you're having a great start to your week. Today's a holiday. It's President's Day, so happy President's Day if you're in the U.S. And I hope that you've had a restful day if you didn't have to go to work. And I do have a little update on my son's car. I know y'all have been kind enough to let me tell you some life stories, and this is one of them, the saga of the car. They got in their rebuilt engine. It is a Kia rebuilt engine. They've done it themselves, and so they actually have a warranty on it for another 150,000 miles, which is great. And they've already ripped the old engine out before they even called us to tell us what they found. But once they got the engine out of the way, they found that the radiator was busted, had a crack in it, and that the battery that we just put in it in 22 is already dead. It was a very expensive starter battery, so we think that it died from lack of use more than anything else, because our son didn't drive for a while, didn't have to drive anywhere. And so it sat a lot,
and we're thinking that may have just drained it dry. But anyway, he has to have a new battery. So, not the big one, not the $4,000 battery, but a starter battery. But all in all, it's not that bad. And the damage, since the engine is covered under warranty, is just the labor, which is not cheap, but it could be a whole lot worse. My son could be having to, go into debt to buy a new car. So instead, it's just going to be a small repair bill, and he's okay with that. And so we told him today to go ahead and fix it. We're hoping it'll be ready in about a week. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But the good news is they're going to fix it, and the engine is going to be replaced, and it is under warranty, and they already have the engine there. So I'm hoping that his car should be ready to go within about a week, which would be great. So answer to prayers. Very good. Okay, I'm going to let you get back to what you were doing. I'm going to get ready for tonight's Zoom call, and I'll talk to you later. In the meantime, happy stitching. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It is February the 18th, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my stitching for today and what I've been working on. I had mentioned before that one of the things I wanted to do this month, before the end of the month if I could, would be to complete my second stocking from the 12 Days of Christmas stockings by Annie Bees. And I am happy to share this with you, that I have completed the second stocking. So here's 2 turtle doves. Now, I made a little change in this. These 2 doves are charted for 2 different colors, but these colors that they're charted in is this color, which is 644, and then this color was to be ecru. But when I tried stitching the second bird in ecru, the difference was so slight, you couldn't tell them apart. And I wanted it to be clear that there were 2 doves sitting here. You can see that is quite different as far as you can tell the difference between the 2 birds. So I didn't want a stark difference. I just wanted it to be enough to notice. So I went and pulled 3865. And I tried the second dove. I had 2 turtle doves, so they are doves, but this one was the first one I stitched, and I had stitched the darker color, the 644. So I came in here with the 3865, and I stitched the white part there, the lighter part of the turtle dove. Then these wings are different colors. This is supposed to be the color of this bird, and this wing is to be the color of this bird. So that would show a difference. So I went ahead and did that wing as it was charted in 644. But I knew if I did this wing in this light color, it was going to be pretty bright, and it was going to be right next to this bird, and it just might be too much of a blend. So I blended the 3865, 1 strand of it, with 1 strand of the 644, just to lighten up the wing enough for you to tell the difference. And I'm really, really pleased with how it turned out. Really like that. So I have finished the stitching on the second one. So that's the one for February. The next one is 3 French hens, and that will be started in March and hopefully stitched in the month of March. That's what I'm hoping to get to do one, every month. So, oh, here's my book. I was looking to see if I had laid it down there to see if I've got a picture of the number 3 I can share with you. These are hard to show you because the patterns are on the page, and there's a pattern next to it and a pattern underneath it. So it's going to be really hard to do. Let me see if I can cover it up and show you what the 3 French hens is going to look like. So I'll cover that with another thing. See if I can cover this. Oh, this will be awkward. Let's see if we can do this. Just about. Last time I photocopied it, and I haven't photocopied it yet for my working copy, but there are the 3 French hens. Isn't that cute? Whoops, that's part of a chart, sorry. So there you go. That'll be the one for March. And I'll be working on that one next. Okay, so that'll be stitching next month. So now, it's only the 19th of the month. It's late on the 19th. It's about 11:30-ish, somewhere in there. So I'll be going to bed now. But tomorrow is a brand new day. What am I going to stitch on? I have a list of things I want to do. And surprisingly, I had mentioned, I think earlier, that I might want to take my Lake House Stitchers smalls that we have gifted each other and stitch some of them when we go on our next trip. So I pulled out those tonight because I wanted to get started on them to take them with me. And I have decided that I would like to go ahead and try to stitch one of them before I go, because I think it's doable. And it would get one of them taken care of as far as being stitched, and I have everything to fully finish it and everything. That was part of the gift. But I could go ahead and stitch it if nothing else. And I think that it's small enough that it would be something I could get done in a day or day and a half. And that would be one that I would have done, and I'm excited about that. The other two are much more complex, and I could get them started and take them with me and work on them all weekend, and that would be a lot of fun. So I am thinking about choosing one of those because that's a Christmas ornament, and then going and looking through the Halloween pieces and maybe choosing one of the Halloween pieces to take with me. And then this time we're gifting each other patterns that are stitching themed. So I could start one of those too, which would be great fun. So there you have it. I'm probably going to wind up taking those things with me, the smalls with me for that weekend. And since I have completed all of my requirements, it won't be putting me behind on anything, which is wonderful. Now, the reason I'm thinking of starting this really small one tomorrow, and I'll show you which one it is. Hang on here. It is this pretty little white owl right here. Thinking I'm doing that one. Is because I have a Zoom call tomorrow, and this would be something I could stitch easily while I'm talking with somebody else, and that'll be fun. So that is really all I'm going to tell you. I'm going to go to bed now. I will hopefully have some good stitching to share with you tomorrow, and I hope you get a lot of stitching done tomorrow. Happy stitching, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. This is Dina. It is February the 19th, 2025, Wednesday night. I've been to choir practice and have returned home and just sat down to finish a little bit of cross-stitching so I could share it with you today. I had mentioned in my last little segment yesterday that I thought today I might try to work on a project that was gifted to me as part of our Lake House Stitchers group when we each stitched a Christmas ornament, fully finished it, and then we kitted up that project with all the finishing material and everything for each of us to gift to one another. And I had mentioned that I had only stitched one of the designs that I had been gifted so far, other than the ones that I have done for myself, that I was giving away. And I also mentioned I was going to look at what those were and see if I could get them ready to take with me next weekend when the Lake House Stitchers get back together, so that I could potentially stitch on those kits while we were all at the same place. So I did that today. I looked through them all and found that there were 3 Christmas ones I needed to do, and 2 of them look a little complicated. They're going to require a lot of stitching. And I thought, well, this will be good. I could get one of them started and I could take it with me. But there was one that I felt would be a very quick stitch. And I decided that I might want to just start it today and see if I could finish it before I left town. Because that would get one of those done and I would feel really, a lot better about that. So I'll show you which one I started. This little owl right there. And the name of the pattern is The Decorating Owl. And its designer is a gentleman by the name of Jesse Schofield. And it's in this 2023 Christmas holiday issue of Christmas Ornaments from Just Cross Stitch. So that was the one that I wanted to work on. So this little thing had just a few colors, 5 colors. And but it had a few beads. It had 6 beads on it, and that was about it. But the lady who gifted this to us had put not only the floss in there for us, and not only the finishing fabric and batting and everything else. She gave us the beads, and she gave us some little decorative pieces that we could use either on that ornament or on something else that we might want to do. And I decided to use it on this one. So I stitched him today. It was a small stitch. It was only 623 stitches, thereabouts. But isn't he cute? The Decorating Owl. This is a 28 count navy blue Lugana. It was called for Navy Ada. And the person who kitted this up for us had Lugana instead, which I don't mind either way, but I think this looks really smooth and pretty. The red beads were in our package as well. And this is the charm that she had put in there. So instead of stitching that snowflake that was in the original piece, I put the little snow charm there instead to decorate it with. And I just think it's precious. Now, the one in the book, it's finished as a square. I think this one could be finished either way, square or round. Or could be made into a really pretty little pillow. So I've just been making lots of pillows lately, but this is a little pretty one here. So I'm actually thinking I might make it into a pillow. And I just think it would be precious in my dough bowl. So we'll see how that goes. I still have all the finishing materials, so I could do it either way. But that is a start and a finish today. It's been a great day. I started out this morning out to walk Coco, and we headed out the door and got about halfway down the driveway, and we both stopped and did like this and said, oh my gosh, it's starting to rain. I mean, in the moment we walked out the door and halfway down the driveway, it started raining. And so I said, oh, Coco, we have to turn around. So we turned around and came back, and she just went outside here in her little potty area, and we came on back in the house. But it has been cold to me. I'm from the South, and so when it gets to be freezing, it's cold. It's very cold. And so I have been a little bit cool. You see, I've got my vest on today. I've got my space heater right next to me. So I've been kind of cold today. So it was a good day to just sit and stitch. That's what I did. The other thing I did is I took a pattern that I had been gifted at Christmas that has silks, and I took the silks that came with that pattern and I put them on my new Annie's Keepers for that project, and so I got that done today. So that's another full set of silks that I've got kitted for a project on my new storage system. So I'm excited about that. And now I think what I'm going to do is sit back and do a little planning. I think the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch acrostic has come out, so I'm going to look at that, see if I want to start planning my acrostic for that, because I've got the 24 hours across stitch one because I bought the calendar this year. So I might look at that a little bit this evening. I am stitching virtually tomorrow with a friend at 9 in the morning, so I need to decide what I'm going to be stitching on in the morning and get it set up and get it ready to go. And then I'll be all set for my morning. Well, I've had a wonderful day of stitching. I got to talk to a friend today on the telephone for a little while, and that was good too. And so I hope you are having as good a day as I've had. It's been a lovely day. I had friends and I had time with my husband. I helped him in the kitchen. We got the countertop off, one whole section, and so that he can work on the wall behind it. It's the one we had to take the backsplash off of, and so he put the sheetrock back up, and now he's got to tape and mud one seam of it. So we took the countertop off so he can get down and work at it that way. So he and I got that out today. So we've also been doing a little demolition today, and that's okay too. Well, I'm going to say goodnight, and I hope I have more stitching to share with you tomorrow. And in the meantime, have a great day and enjoy everything you're working on. Happy stitching. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. This is Dina. Today is Saturday. It is the 22nd of February. I will apologize now if you hear squeaking. But my friend Donna came over today. She brought Coco a new toy, and it's one of her favorites. And so she won't let go of it. And she's up here now with me because her daddy is working in the kitchen trying to tape and spackle a piece of sheetrock. And she keeps losing her little squeaky toy under the couch. And he's tired of stopping what he's doing to go get it. So she's up here with me right now with the door closed, as you see, and she's not happy about it because she really wants to be downstairs with her toy so she can get it under the couch. But anyway, I want to tell you a little bit about my day today, what my friend Donna and I were up to, and also about my stitching. So let's start with the stitching because this occurred first. Yesterday, I started stitching my Great British Bake Off stitching for the week. And my first one that I pulled out to stitch was for the last and technical, which is 50 stitches. And that was the baker Manon, and she was affiliated with my January wordplay. And so I had to put 50 stitches in my January wordplay. And I actually wound up putting 93 stitches in it because I like finishing up a little area or a motif. And so what I did was the 2 Christmas trees with the 3 snowflakes. And that was the 93 stitches, which was more than the 50 I had to have. And so I was good on that, and I went ahead and put it away because I'm hoping that I get to stitch more on it for the game. And so I didn't want to fully finish it. I probably would have kept stitching on it until I finished it otherwise, but I'm going to try not to do that on this one right now because it's the end of the month and I want to get ahead on some stitching, put some extra stitches in some things that I really want to push to a finish. And this is a small, it's easy, and I could take it with me if I want to because I'm going off this weekend with some friends to stitch, and I could very easily take that one with me and maybe even finish it. So the next 2 projects, I only have 2 more projects I need to stitch for the bake-off because one got a handshake. Actually, 2 people got a handshake, but one of the people who got a handshake also got first in technical and star baker for the day. So if you add it all together, I've got 375 stitches to do for one project, which is Let Love Rain. And then the other handshake for 150 stitches was John, who is affiliated with my summer treats. So I get to pull that back out, put 150 stitches in that. And I may get that done later this evening. I don't know. I'm hoping to. Probably will save my Let Love Rain for tomorrow. And then I could get all 375 stitches in one day, and I'd have it taken care of. So that is my British Bake Off stitching. Now, I had a little list of goals that I wanted to do for this month, and I completed them. And so I've come up with a new set of goals for my rest of the month, the 20th through the 28th. And the first thing on the goals were to select what I wanted to take with me this coming weekend, and if it was new starts, to get them started. Coco, come here, baby. Come over here. Bring your toy and come over here. And so I have started one Halloween small and one Christmas small that I was gifted from my Lake House Stitchers. We're all going to try to bring something that we have gifted each other and the kits that we were making for one another so that we can get some progress on them. And so that's what we're going to do. So I have started one Halloween small and one Christmas small to take with me to work on. Then the next thing I had on my list was my Great British Bake Off stitching, which I did the wordplay for. But yesterday I decided that one of the things I wanted to do was to finish my square on Hawk Run Hollow. Even though my monthly requirement was half a square, I did so much on the one, because I did all the full coverage part of it, that there was very little left to finish it. And I thought, I can't let that be all I stitch on Hawk Run next month. That's just not enough. And so I thought, well, if I finish it, then I could go ahead and start the next to last square. And that would save a whole month of stitching before this is finished. So I went ahead and finished my square on Hawk Run Hollow. So I'll remind you, I was working on this one right here. And as you know, I've eliminated this one and this one. If you've been watching my videos, I've explained that to you. And so the next square I do will be this one, because I'm going to shift it over here. And because I don't want these two girls being right up under these two girls. I think it would look more balanced if these two girls were over here. And I think the writing would look more balanced if the writing was over here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip-flop those last two blocks. So the next block I'll actually be starting on is the one with the poem. It's not poem, it's scripture. But anyway, it'll end right there. And then I'll do the final square. These two girls will become the final square. So let me just show you what I got done. Here we go. When I worked on this before for my half a square, I did all of this full coverage and this sign, the top of the sign. So I had all of that done. So what I had to finish was just this right here. And you can imagine how small that looked compared to this. But really, is it that small? Well, let me just tell you, it was 1,278 stitches just to do from here up. 1,278 stitches. So none of these squares have a light stitching. They're all heavy stitching. Anyway, so the next time I pull this out, I will roll it up. I'll do the two blocks as far as the borders, and then I'll be ready to stitch those last two blocks. And I have said I want to finish this year, so I certainly think that's doable. Even if I have to skip it a month or something, I think it's still doable, which is great. I'm excited about that. So you want to know what else I've got planned to do? There's a magazine monthly challenge for this weekend, and it's to stitch 500 stitches in something that's a specialty stitch or a specialty fiber or something like that. And you have all week to do it. And so my thought is that as soon as I finish my Great British Baking stitching, which should be tomorrow, then I'm going to pull back out my Nativity, and I'm going to put those extra 500 stitches in it, because I have specialty fibers in there and I have a lot of specialty stitches in there. Just the last time I worked on it, I did Lazy Daisy stitches down, 4 columns. But there are also Algerian eyelets between every pair of those Lazy Daisies. And so I will start by putting all the Algerian eyelets in the border because those are specialty stitches. And then once I get those counted up, I know that won't be 500 stitches, then I can go ahead and do regular cross stitches for the rest of it. You just have to do part of it in specialty stitch or specialty fiber. So I think that will qualify for the event. And I will get another 500 stitches in Nativity before the end of the month. And so I'm excited about that. I think that will help really push that one, give it a boost, get a big boost. And then I have one more thing on my list that I hope I get to do. And that is to fully finish a pillow that I've been talking about. It was the Valentine's piece that I did. Help, I Need Somebody to Love. I never got it finished, fully finished. I have it partially fully finished. It's in progress. I had started on it for my finishing day on that Saturday, and I wound up having to help my hubby quite a few times in the kitchen with the renovation we're doing with the cabinets. And so I didn't get to finish that pillow. And I would like to do that. I'd like to go ahead and get it done so that it'll be ready for next Valentine's Day. And I'd like to get all that finishing stuff put away. So I actually put it on my goals for the rest of the month. We shall see. We shall see. So let me tell you about my friend Donna today and what we did. My friend Donna came up today. She had a couple of pieces to take to Hobby Lobby to be framed. And so we talked about it and I said, well, if you're coming all this way, you should bring your stitching and just spend the day. And so she said, okay. So she texted me this morning and she said, would you mind terribly if I brought Harley? And I said, no, bring him out. I hadn't seen Harley in a long time, other than Zooming with her and seeing him there. So she brought Harley with her and she didn't even tell him where he was coming. She just told him they were going somewhere. So he was pretty excited when he got here. He was so happy to see Coco and he was so happy to see me. He's such a sweetie. Anyway, we got in here and got situated and played with Harley a little bit. He and Coco got reacquainted. Coco was very jealous today. She actually was a little bit rude. She growled at Harley a time or two when he was trying to get love from me. And so she finally kind of decided she was going to go downstairs and hang out. And so we shut the door up here. I left it cracked enough where she could push it to come in if she wanted to come in, but I closed it enough where Harley couldn't get out. That way we could keep our eyes on him, since this is not his normal surroundings. We didn't want him to get into anything and get hurt. So Harley stayed up here with us, and Coco stayed downstairs most of the time. I went and checked on her a couple of times, and she came up a couple of times. And so Donna and I stitched a little bit this morning. Then we headed out for lunch into Hobby Lobby, and that was a good thing. We got both of her pieces turned in to be framed, and then we went and looked at a couple of fibers for her and some stickers and things she needed for finishing things. Well, that is my big day today. That's basically what I got done while I stitched while Donna was here. And right after she left, I got finished with my block. So I did get that done. That was my goal for the day, to get that block finished, and I made it. So I'm excited. So if I get to do any other stitching today, that'll be gravy. That'll be extra. That has been a great day. I had a great day of stitching, great day of fun. Got to go to Hobby Lobby and put in some framing with my friend Donna. Got to play with Harley and Coco, who you keep hearing huff at me because she wants me to open that door. And I accomplished my stitching goal for the day. So I've had a great Saturday. I hope you have. I hope you're doing well, and hope you're staying warm if you're up here in the North America, because it's been cold. It's supposed to warm up in the coming week. I am thrilled to death for our area is supposed to warm up. And I like warm weather much better than I do cold. So I'm happy about that. Well, I'll let you get back to what you're doing. I hope you've been stitching while I've been chatting away. I'm sorry this was so long-winded, but I was just excited about my day today, and I wanted to share it with you. Happy stitching, everybody.
Oh, there we go.
She's trying to get it out of the chair. Oh, she's going to get it.
Okay, she will. Whoop. Here we go. She's got me where she doesn't want to catch it. You ready? Go. I got it. Do it again. There you go.
All right.
There you go. Is it for me?
She's guarding it again.
Are you sure? How can we play if you won't let go of it? Alright, go ahead, Bob. Ready? This way. I got another one. Uh-oh. Ready?
She doesn't know what to do with 3 of them. How can I herd 3 of them, Daddy?
Ready? Right. That's gone. That was gone.
It's not in the chair anymore.
Oh, one in the spider room.
Oh, it went in the basket. She's done. She's done. She says, I'm ready to go upstairs now.